Right, we're live. Hello, welcome to another episode of SprueCast Podcast. Hope you've all had a good week and you're enjoying the lovely weather if you're in the UK. I don't know what the weather's like everywhere else. As always, I'm joined by Josh from Rise Down Designs, Gordon and Mr. Gilbert Mondragon from the Styrene Syndicate. We're going to get straight to it because we've got quite a bit to get through. So we're going to go straight in with what we've bought this week, what we've bought and what we've been working on. We've killed two birds with one stone rather than going round twice. So who wants to go first this week? Josh, do you want to go first?
I'll go first. It's fine. So first I got a new camera stand, so that's why the views kind of changed a little bit.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
I'm just going to show the table. This is basically what I've been up to this week. I primed these guys.
Your table's looking like mine there, Josh. With all kinds of eclectic stuff there.
I actually primed it. The weather changed, so I was able to do a whole bunch of stuff yesterday. But got primer on the plane. I've been doing this plane for like 8 months, so I actually have primer on it now. But for the most part, I've just been kind of trying to finish some stuff up, get some other stuff going, just kind of a small rotation.
Nice.
Can I ask, Josh? Did you have another lesson? You were taking lessons, weren't you?
Yeah, I took a painting class for Gen Con with Lynn Stahl, was the teacher. I actually learned quite a bit. I mean, this is the face. I mean, it's still not perfect, but I don't know if it'll show up.
Put your hand behind. There it is. Put your hand behind it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not bad.
I mean, and I only paid $20 for the class, so that's way better than the last one I did.
Yeah, I can't do eyes at all.
They are tricky.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't really bought anything other than the camera stand, and I got a bunch of Stynal res coming. So
nice.
Hopefully I can buy a 3D printer in the next couple days. So
cool.
I haven't actually pulled the trigger on that yet. So
it'd be interesting.
Which one you getting?
I'm getting the one that's on sale at Anycubic. It's like $169.
Is it the Anycubic? It's a photon, right?
Yeah.
Good choice. I've got the photon. If you have any problems setting that up, Josh, just give me a shout because there can be a few issues with that, and it's normally relating to how you level the plate on it. I've found that there's one particular way that works much better than the recommended way that they suggest, which is what I use. I kept leveling it the way Anycubic said, and with the paper. I couldn't get anything to print off until I changed the way I done it. So if you get any problems, let us know. I may be able to help you with it.
Cool. That's basically what I've been up to. I figured it'd be easier to show an overview of what the desk looks like. I got a little bit done. A little bit.
Okay, so
what is that?
Is that it, Josh? You got any more, or have you got any more? You got desperate stuff.
What Gordon's working on.
Let's go. All right, we'll go over to Gordon then. That's all we need to know, really, is that Star Wars, isn't it? So
the B-wing. I've got that. That's a nice kit, Gordon.
Yeah, this is the only kit I've picked up this week. So, and unusually, I haven't even had a look at it yet. But I've seen one or two reviews of it, and this is the one that I'm missing out of me Star Wars collection. And the prices were starting to creep up and get really silly.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And I got this off my mate who's got the model shop for 40 quid.
That's good.
Which is round about 10, 15 pounds cheaper than normally. But that's the only kit that I've got this week, right? The ejector seats, I've been working on them. I've painted the buckles. I've not gone for bright silver because it don't look right. And I've put a dark wash over it. Put the decals on the head boxes.
That'd be nice.
That they just need dry brushing now, then a matte coat, and then that's them finished.
How long did it take you to do those, Gordon? Just the seats?
Just the seats. I've been on them, what, about 8, 9, 10 days.
Wow.
And the Tornado at the minute, I'm making some intake covers.
I like that. I do
So,
like that. Done a good job with that.
Because the intake covers were like a canvas, like a bag.
All right.
So what I've done for now to give me templates, I put masking tape on to the shape that I want. And then I shall peel the tape off and then make the covers out of tin foil.
All right. So I'm curious, how will you go about that?
Basically, what I'll do, I'll peel this off.
Yeah.
And stick it onto the foil so it's flat, so it gives you the shape that you're looking for.
Right.
Right. So you'll have the top piece and that piece will all be in one. Then you have the two side pieces. But it'll all be as one piece. So you'll have the main piece that runs down the middle and the side pieces. Then cut them out and fold them round.
And that does that give you a nice looking canvas texture then?
Yeah, because what I've done, I've been hunting around the bloody supermarkets and the shops, right? For some foil that was thick enough but not too thick. It's flexible, right? But also one that's actually got a bit of texture on it.
All right.
So it actually looks like woven cloth to a certain extent. So when it's all folded round and it's on,
yeah,
you'll get the natural crinkles and texture in it.
Yeah, that would look nice when it's painted up.
So that's what I've been doing at the minute. I'm in the middle of. I shall get that one done first, and then if that works, then I shall do the one on the other side. But I'm quite chuffed with how the in-flight refueling probes come out.
Yeah, the other night I zoomed in on that and had a real good look at your paintwork on it, and it's brilliant. You've done a really good job of it, Gordon, I've got to say.
Yeah. This is one of the faults that you see with a lot of people that do the Desert Storm Tornadoes, right? The in-flight refueling probe was bolted on and it's hollow at the back.
Right.
So you would get the camouflage colour, whatever it's painted with on the outside, right? And the original colour underneath.
Ah.
So because these were grey and green, the top part of this here was grey.
Yeah.
So I painted the sides white first, then painted the grey in.
Yeah.
And then all I've got to do with that now is put a bit of an oil wash in it because it's in-flight refueling probe. You did get leaks and stains and stuff when it closed up.
Yeah.
But
I didn't know they were there. I thought they were always at the front, round where the pitot tube is and that.
Yeah, well, they vary on different aircraft. Like the Tornado, the GR1 and the GR4, they scabbed on, they bolted onto the side of the fuselage, right?
Yeah.
But the Tornado F3, the ADV, the air defense variant, that's built into the fuselage here.
Oh, right.
Right? And it's like on the Eurofighter, right? The Eurofighter's in-flight refueling probe runs down the side of the front part of the canopy, and it's recessed, so it's built into the fuselage.
Yeah.
It pops up, refueled, and then folds away again. But it's like some of the American aircraft, like some of the Phantoms, the F4C, the D, the E, right? They were refueled by a boom. They'd have a refueling receptacle down the fuselage, or like an F-15 and an F-16. They have the refueling receptacle on the side.
Yeah.
Just backside the engine, where the boom goes in. So basically, where the RAF had a basket that went over the end, the American version, they'd have a boom that had come in. So basically, the pilot would get as close as he can. The boom operator will drop the boom down and then fly it because you've got two little wings on. And it would fly it into position, then extend the probe. But
excellent.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Slowly getting there.
So, have you bought anything this week?
Yeah, the Y-wing I've just shown you.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. That was a purchase. My apologies. I thought that was something you were putting as starting.
No, that's the kit that I bought this week. But
my apologies.
I've been tinkering with this.
Ah, yeah. I've seen that in the. I can't remember where I saw it. It's a nice looking kit. That.
Yeah.
The box art on the Airfix version isn't as good as the one on the Tamiya version. And honestly, if them two kits were side by side and I was going off the box art, which I do a lot, I would go with that one.
Yeah. Well, what I'm doing with this, it's basically going to be built in them colours, but I'm not putting the torpedo on. I'm going to put the 60-pound rockets on the wings instead. So I'm going to have it as the rocket one, but that's basically the colour scheme. But there's a bit of a debate, actually, on what colour scheme it wore, whether it was medium sea grey and sky, or whether it was dark sea grey and dark slate grey and sky, whether the code letters were yellow like in the Tamiya kit, or were they red, or were they, like in the aftermarket ones, a sky colour.
I don't know.
So it's a bit of a debate, but all I've basically been doing with it in a minute is just priming the interior parts and stuff. I've got some 60-pound rockets because the kit comes with armoured piercing ones. So you get a torpedo with it, 250-pound bombs and stuff. But yeah, I've been basically prepping the interior parts. So yeah, they're basically armoured piercing ones that come with the kit. But I'm going to do the ones with the 60-pound warheads on it, the big chunky ones. Looks like an hand grenade stuck on the end.
Okay then. So that's Gordon. Gil, what about you?
Well, I haven't bought anything because it didn't feel like buying anything. But I finished a commission build and I painted a couple of things. So this is the Tamiya M2 Bradley IFV, the older kit. I don't do armor, but this is a commission build. So
yeah,
I finished this up. It's got the interior on the inside in there. Let's see if I get it so you can see it. Now the interior is in there. The door swings up and you can close it, open it if you want. So that's the interior. I went. The guy didn't want to beat up or weathered a lot. Excuse me. That's my sister calling. I'll talk to her in a little bit. So yeah, I mean, other than that, that's this here. Like I said, it's going to its new home today. They're picking it up. So did the modulation with the airbrush.
That's an amazing kit there, Gil. So for somebody that doesn't do armor, that is wow. I'm really impressed with that paintwork.
Yeah. Gil does armor all the time. He just doesn't cut it.
And then last night, well, I got this from NY3D Creations. He sent it to me to give it to my wife. So I started working on this little guy. My wife is a big Baby Yoda fan. So there's another one that I'm doing.
I've just started watching that.
Yeah. So the head I painted separate, the hands, and then I'll just go in. It's going to be real quick paint job. Do his little cloak. And then he's got the little frog here. I got to paint that and then the base. So it's going to be a simple paint job for me, But yeah, there's him on his base. But I did a piece a few years ago from Warhammer's called the Honored Imperium. I had forgotten the name of it. Mike told me, and this is one of them. Now this was done a few years ago. Oh Jesus!
Oh,
yeah. I did this a few years ago. It comes with a sword. So I cut the sword out and I took an old paintbrush, glued it in there, used some CA glue to put a point on there so the bristles are stiff, and then just made it into a bronze statue holding a paintbrush. But there's another piece that comes with this, and it's this one, this piece right here. Now this piece right here had been sitting when I primed that, I primed this in Styler, like I said, 5.5, 6 years ago. And
That's
I was
very much. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
That reminds me of Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, it's the Imperial Aquila, from Warhammer 40K. It's the Aquila from the Imperium. So it had sat in black stylorez for years, and I was going through some stuff yesterday, and I found it. So during the hangout, I started painting it, and I wanted to go with a jade type of marble, a little muted jade type of marble.
Yeah.
And that's what I came up with.
And so how did you achieve that marble? Because the reason I asked was when I'd done my Rolls Royce, I had to do a mahogany, a tortoise effect. And I should imagine that marble's very similar in some ways to achieve.
Yeah.
And I'd done what I thought looked okay. And I think, for my skill level, it's reasonable. But I'd be interested to hear from somebody that knows how to paint, how you achieve that marble effect.
Well, there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can go in and freehand it, which I've done. You can use gauze. You take gauze, you cut a strip off, and just stretch it until it's the fibers are stretched out, and then you lay it over it. You hold it tight. You take whatever color, white, spray it over the gauze, pull the gauze off, and then you get all the little effects. Yeah. Or you can take a dryer sheet. It's simple dryer sheet like this here. You take a dryer sheet.
Yeah, I know the ones you mean.
And what you want to do with that, if you're going to use the dryer sheet, you wash them. These are for better lack of a word, butt wipes. The sanitary.
Yeah.
So you wash them to get all the chemicals and all the perfume off of them. So whatever they use when you wipe your butt, the smell, and you let them dry. And then when they're dry, you take them and you just stretch like this. And then stretch them until you get that effect right there.
Oh, right, yeah.
So when you get that effect, you take it and you just lay it over the piece. This is the quick and dirty way to do it, and it comes out really nice. You take it, you lay it over there, you stretch it until it looks like that.
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
Then you take your paint and paint right over it, airbrush right over it. And when you're done, You take that off, and you end up with something like that. Now you can go heavier, you can go lighter. I went lighter because I wanted this to resemble some jade. So I didn't want to go with the heavy marbling look, but and then you go in with the little to get the lines, the veining.
Yeah.
I use a brush like that.
Yeah, liner brush.
Yep.
Yeah.
So because it's not stiff, and it's flexible. So you take that, you put a point on it, and just you go in and you do your lines. Let that if the lines are too heavy, you take your finger, just tap it. It'll mute them down. And you go again. Tap it, mute them down. Go again. Tap it, mute them down. And that's the effect you'll get. You can see the lines in there if I can get that to.
Yeah, we can see them.
And then for jade, I used phthalo blue ink. I made a wash out of it and I airbrushed it on there because you want a little bit of hint of blue in that. Just not you can barely see it, but it tints that green. This is a jade green, but it was too bright. So you take a little phthalo blue and just shoot it right over, just almost like a glaze. That thin.
Yeah.
And then let that dry. Then you go over it with you seal it, and then I went over it with this stuff here that's called typhus corrosion from Games Workshop.
I've not seen that one before.
Yeah, it's like a dirty brownish green color,
Right.
And then just made a wash out of that, and then washed the whole thing out of it, and that's what I got.
Beautiful piece of work, Gail.
Yep, and that's what I got.
Excellent.
I mean, it's fairly easy once you learn how to do it. You just got to be careful that you don't go overboard with the lines, with the veining, because then you'll ruin it. Especially if it's meant to be a big piece, and you do too much veining on it, you just ruin the whole effect.
Yeah.
You can do the sort of thing, can't you?
What's that? What do you got there, Gordon? That looks like some scaling.
It's a stencil.
Yeah.
Oh, is that one of those anarchy model ones?
This is a plastic one. I've got cardboard ones and metal ones and stuff as well. But the way Gil used is that cloth. I prefer that because you can stretch it, and each time you pull it, you get a different pattern.
Exactly.
Where with this,
it's rigid.
It's rigid, so it's a case of you can see where I've used one area and stuff, and another area to do the similar sort of thing, but using the cloth and stretching it, or a scouring pad. You can thin a scouring pad out. And pull it. So
I've seen people do that with those thin scouring pads. They stretch them out. The reason I don't like using a scouring pad is if you've got a base toned down and you're not careful and you start moving it around, you scratch the paint. You scratch the paint. So, but that's me. That's what I've got, Mark.
Okay, so we're now going to go and see the polar opposite of a good paint job, and that's what I've done. Hey, you'll have to excuse the bad arm. So I'm going to struggle to hold this up. So I will hold it up, but I've prepared a couple of photos that I thought it would be better. Basically, I've just worked on that. I haven't got much done at all. I'd say not much. It's taken me a while to do this. Figures are not my strong point at this size. I'm better when they're a bit bigger. This is 1/35
or 32nd?
1/32, which is quite big for a plane, but for me, a figure, it's a bit too small. But that's all I've done. But what I'm going to do is I have took a couple of photos of that. So I'm just going to share my screen and hope I get the right one. Oh, hold on. What have I done? Hold on. Apologies. There we want this one. I want this one. So screen 2. share. So just bear with me 1 second while I come down here and find the. There we go. So lighting wasn't great, and I was rushed a little bit because the show was about to start. I know there's no excuse. All I've done on this week. Now buying something. Let me just think, because I did buy. I've got a couple of kits on order, which I'm not going to mention until they turn up. But no, didn't buy anything. So that's that. So we've had a look at what everyone's bought. So now we're gonna have a quick look at some more topical items. We're gonna try and bring some more topical stuff into our weekly podcast. And so this week, we're gonna go through a couple of bits that I've found, searched out. And one of the things that I discovered was there have been a lot of event cancellations. Not everyone gets this magazine. So what I've decided is we're just going to read through some of these event cancellations, and that way, if anyone's going to or plan to go to any of them and they're on this list, then you're not going to waste your time. So these are all for September. They're all cancelled due to the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and they cannot take place as planned. So the dates are all September. So September the 5th to the 6th, the Medway Model Show in Gillingham, Kent has been cancelled or postponed. September the 6th, East Riding of Yorkshire Show, Driffield, East Yorkshire, again cancelled or postponed. September the 8th, the ASVC Warnbourne Show, Staffordshire. Or was that Warnbourne? Warnbourne Show, Staffordshire, again cancelled or postponed. The 12th, you've got Aberdeen Modeller Society Show and the IPMS Farnborough Model Fest in Frimley, Surrey. So both of those cancelled or postponed. 19th to the 20th of September, the Euro Miniature Expo, cancelled or postponed. That's in Folkestone. On the 20th, you've got Wings and Things 2020, Spalding in Lincolnshire, again cancelled or postponed. Scale Scotland 2020, Edinburgh, again cancelled, postponed. And finally, on September the 27th, you've got St Ives Model Show in Cambridgeshire, which also has been cancelled or postponed. So, not looking great on the show front at the moment. Everywhere's a bit up in arms over the whole pandemic. And, you know, my advice would be, if you are going to any show, regardless of modeling or, you know, whether it's farming or anything, I would get in touch with the people that are hosting it, and I would check, because chances are it's not going to be going ahead.
Is there any shows that you know of, Gil or Josh, over in the States?
I don't really pay much attention to them until they happen, so I don't. I know there's a bunch of cancellations and you know, some events have been rescheduled, but I don't have them offhand. So, you know.
What about you, Josh?
I know this year's national show, I think it was supposed to be in Texas or something like that. I know that got canceled, and that was supposed to be sometime this month or last month. Other than that, I mean, basically the first show in the U.S. is going to be probably nationals next year in mid-August, I think.
Yeah, that's in Vegas, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, and that's why it's going to be probably the first show of the year, because it's in Vegas.
Right.
But, you know.
Is
there
a site or anything that you can go to in America that's got a list of them all?
I'll look one up. I think so. if I'd have known you were doing it, I would have looked them up. Next, I'll have them for you next time, though.
All right. Yeah. So sorry about that, Gil.
No, that's quite all right. That's quite all right.
Yeah, so that's the cancellations. And now on a more positive note, we're going back to the old dodgy screen sharing again. We're going to look at just to look at the box art for the new dogfight doubles that Airfix are bringing back. They had them out for some time, and then they stopped them for some reason, not sure why, and they've brought them back, with a brand new tooled set. So let's just have a quick look at the box art on that, and hopefully this one will go a lot quicker because I know exactly where it is. Can we all see that?
Yeah.
There we go. So it's the 172nd MiG-17F Fresco and a Douglas A4B Skyhawk. Now these, I'm reliably informed, are all new tool. That's correct, isn't it? Am I right on that, Gordon?
Yeah, it's the new tooled Skyhawk and the new tooled MiG. But it's the thing is with that, you get everything. If you're a beginner, they go together quite well. You get a couple of decent paintbrushes. Yeah, you got the tube glue, but you get a few pots of paint. So but toolkit. I've built both of them.
What, the new tool or?
Yeah, I've got the new tooled Skyhawk and the MiG-17, but I've done my MiG-17 in Russian markings, and the Skyhawk I've done in the Argentinian colours.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a look at them actually at some point, see what the quality is like on the new tool. Anyway, that kit is available. From what I was looking at, the prices were around $29.99, which isn't bad because you get in the paints and you've got two kits in there. So if you halve it, you're looking at 15 quid each. Paints, brushes, glue. Although personally, I wouldn't use that glue, but that's just for a beginner. It's perfect. It's perfect for a lot of people. There you go. So we've got that, and then another piece of good news. Now I've got this. This was in the Airfix magazine, and they ran a competition. It was NHS Charities Together, and they asked people to design a scheme for a hawk.
It was a special colour scheme for the hawk, weren't it?
Yeah, a new colour scheme for the hawk. So obviously this ran for some time, and they finally had a winner. So let me just. I've just got to go the right way here on this. Bear with me. I haven't lost it, have I? That would be typical. There it is. I thought I'd lost it for a minute. And it's a really nice design. I like it. It's very colourful. You've got the rainbow colours on the rear. What are they again? The dihedral or something, is it?
The tailplanes.
Yeah, the wingy bits at the back. Yeah. So, you got the rainbow effect. You got this lovely light sort of blue colour here, but I love the writing on it. Unfortunately, this was the best picture I could get. I don't think. Will it let me zoom in? It's a low resolution image. It's not great, but it's sort of done like just regular writing, and I do like that effect. Now I don't know whether this is going to go on any real hawks or whether this is just a decal scheme. It is definitely going to be a decal scheme. I know that much. and it's going to be sold. It's going to come out late 2020, early 2021. It's going to be a special edition Hawk kit. And the family that won, all I know is their name was Elliot. It was the Elliot family that won it. Congratulations to those. Bang up job on that. Really like it. You know, Hawks are not my favourite, but I do like that decal scheme, and I would be tempted to get them for that. That would look nice on the wall. It's different to everything else I've got, and that's a big thing with me, having something that's different. So there we go. Just got to find me. I've lost where there's me cursor. Oh, come on. I've got two screens on the go, and the cursor's decided it's gone missing. There we are. Right. Stop screen. Excellent. With that, it's over to Gordon now, who's going to give us a review on the new Tamiya Fireblade. I'll let him tell you all about that. And so let's get to it. I'll just put the thing on you, Gordon.
All right. This is the latest 1/12 scale bike kit from Tamiya. All right. On the CBR 1000 RR SP. Right. It's 1/12 scale. You come with two color schemes. Basically, that's the Honda factory colors and black. Basically, that's your choices. But yeah, so let's have a look, see what we get in the box. All right, nice color information leaflet there in Japanese. There's your two color schemes for your decal placement and stuff for both schemes. All right, and there it is in English on the other side. I quite like that because it's in colour, and normally Tamiya don't do them. You just get a black and white image on the instruction sheet, but I quite like that. Right. Instruction booklet. Pull it down a bit. There we are. Typical Tamiya picture. Your do's and don'ts. Paint call-outs, what paints you need. The TSs. They've also started listing the new Tamiya lacquer paints and stuff as well. Tools that you need. There is an addendum sheet in it as well. And you can get an up detail set for the forks, which I have got, that we're going to have a look at on another show. And I quite like this because you actually get some masks in with it as well, right? And it tells you how to put the masks on. So you get the nice sharp lines in between the two colours. So you paint it one colour, put the mask on, and then paint the second colour over the top.
Nice, nice.
So is it actually tape or is it more of a matte? I know I probably asked that question too early, but
No, that would be an interesting thing to if it's
Yeah, it's actually a mask.
okay, good, yeah.
oh,
That's
okay.
cool. That's cool.
But
Really have to give me one of those.
I'm thinking about it too, man. I mean, I've been thinking about doing bikes for a while.
But yeah, it gives you the Tamiya TS paints, which are the rattle cans, and the equivalent in the lacquer paints, because the new lacquer paints, Tamiya are trying to match the lacquer paints with the TS paint, so they're basically the same colour. Because I've heard rumours that Tamiya are trying to phase out the rattle cans and stuff. Why? I don't know, because I find them brilliant and decant them, job done. But
well,
yeah.
It's probably to do with bloody postage. I had a load of rattle cans sent me and they got confiscated.
But typical Tamiya layout, gives you your paint call outs, and stuff as you work your way through it. Any decal placements that are on it as well, because you've got a decal that goes around the oil filter. Engine, coolant pipes, hoses for the clutch and carburetor overflow pipes and stuff. Frame, 2-coloured frame, right? So satin gloss, black and matte black. Frame joining together, screwing the engine and everything in, because you get the little screws, the little red screwdriver. Hoses that go underneath the seat. Your tail light is in clear. I'll have a look at that in a bit. Assembling the rear end, the under tray to the back of the frame, paddock stand, suspension unit, swinging arm on the back, then putting the shock through, chain through, wheels, nice rubber tyres with rub it with a bit wet and dry something, take the seam out, scuff the tyres up, make them look used. Rear wheel going in there, swinging arm going into the frame, then bolting it all up. Paddock stand, footrest. Then we start on the exhausts. They're, I believe, titanium silver, I think. Exhaust box, all the bits and pieces on it, because I've seen somewhere, or I've read somewhere, that somebody's doing an aftermarket spring set. Because a lot of the race cans and a lot of the aftermarket exhaust, you don't fasten them together with Jubilee clips, they fasten together with springs, and this exhaust system really lends itself to putting the springs on and stuff like that, make it pop that little bit. Radiator to frame, headlight assembly, attaching that, front wheel, forks, and it gives you in here with the detail parts, it gives you the alternate numbers for using the update set. So you can use the kit forks, or you can use the turn brass, the anodized ones, right? And it tells you in these instructions how to use them as well, because the kit parts, the detail up parts, come with their own instructions as well. So yeah, brake caliper for the brake caliper, headstock going together, forks going in, clocks going on, various hoses, airbox, handlebars, tank going on, or dummy tank, right? Various panels, the front part of the fuel tank, seat unit, that going on. But it gives you the colour call outs all the way through as well in TS and the lacquer paints. But this one's quite an involved one, especially when you get to this part. This is your painting part, right? Seat unit, plastics going in for the coolant to pull the air in over the radiator and stuff, and side panels. Screen, top half the fairing. Then it gives you, this is where the masks come in, right? Paint it one colour, paint it TS8 first, then apply your mask, and then you paint the other colour on first. Then once you put your mask on, paint the red on, and then the decals. But the black one's easy. It's just TS40 or LP40. So it's basically gloss black and satin black. Top half of the fairing going on and the sides screwing together. Bearing unit going on and the last of the sides going on. Mirrors with the built-in indicators and the tail end with the indicators and the tail light, which sits up underneath. And then a little bit of bump about basically the bike and the colours it comes in. Right. So we've already seen the
masks. Yeah.
The masks. You actually get chrome decals, sticky back chrome for the mirrors. Right.
I have a question about the sticky back chrome.
Yeah.
Now, I've had sticky back chrome before, to be exact, on an Italeri lorry, and it was dreadful.
Yeah.
It literally was just a bit of sticky back silver. I wouldn't have called it chrome. Andrew's just passed me here, so it was.
I'm proud of that.
Yeah, it's okay, but the you can't really. Sorry, you can't really see it.
Yeah, because you got me up. The thing is with these, Mark, these, I don't know if you can see it. These are a little bit thicker than that one that you were using.
Oh, right.
This is quite. It's almost photo etch, but not quite. But really,
right.
So you look.
Yeah. Can you see through that? Is that me? Did I see your finger through that?
No, that's just a reflection.
It's just a reflection, but it's almost the thickness of photo etch, but it's not. And the best part about it is, instead of peeling it off and sticking it on, right?
Well, don't peel it off. You'll ruin it for yourself when it comes to it.
You peel the backing sheet off.
Yeah.
Ah, that does look better than what I had.
Yeah.
All right. Because that was one of the things that I was bothered about.
Yeah, because you had quite a bit of a problem with the truck, didn't you?
Yeah, I did not like the what they classed as foil stickers.
Yeah.
Well, I guess they were, but
those decals.
Yeah.
Oh.
But, yeah, these are the color on them, right? It's almost like a pearl. I don't know if it's going to show it up. Can you see that there?
Yeah.
How it changes color. Look, it's dark there.
Yeah.
The light matches it.
Damn.
Right, especially on this one. That one. But yeah, I've never come across decals that do that. I've got the Africa Twin, right, and it's roughly the same colours, but the decals you get in that kit, they're not as good as these, right? You even get decals for the mesh vents.
Sorry, are they cartographed? Did you have you said already? Sorry, I might have missed it, but
no, it doesn't say whether the decals are cartograph or not on the box. But let's have a look on the front. No, it doesn't say whether the decals are done by cartograph, but these seem to look and feel really thin and stuff, unlike some of the other Tamiya bike kits where they're quite thick. You drop them on, get them to go around the curve, and they crack.
Yeah.
But these look really, what's it? But one thing that I was looking at when I was it, you get 3 different instrument clusters, speedos.
Oh, right.
So you can have it parked up, riding it, information panel, and maintenance. But, yeah, you get
I've got this on order.
Yeah. Clear parts, yeah, you don't get a lot, but they are lovely and clear, because if you can see the kit under the box and stuff, and that's look how clear that is. No distortion on that. But that's the clear parts. Then you've got one black sprue with your, let's shift that out of the way so you can see it better. Frame, airbox, part of the inner panels, under tray, grill on the front, various accent pieces on the side, handlebars, part of the airbox, part of the tail light unit. No, that's the headlight shrouds. The headlights on the front.
Is it or the indicators?
Yeah, the indicators are there, look. There's the headlights. They're wheels for the axle stand. Them's your headlights, and these are parts for the indicators.
Yeah.
Then you got standard faults compared to the aftermarket parts. Fan, cooling fans, engine casings. I quite like the detail on the brake rotors.
Yeah.
And they're actually drilled as well.
No, yeah, that's something, isn't it?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
That saves you hours of work. But what I like as well, right, they've even drilled out the floating bushes as well. So not only have you got a vented disc, you've got them drilled out as well.
I can imagine right now that John Reeves is reaching for the tissues.
Yeah. But yeah, you've got the new style Honda wheels. These wheels have been out at 12, 18 months, couple of years now. These new type wheels, swinging arm, even the rear brake caliper disc is built as well. You've got the mirrors for the side in two parts. So you've got the inner piece and the outer piece, and you can see you've got a hole there that the indicator lens fits through. So seat and other various bits and pieces on that one. Then we've got the tins or the fairing or whatever you want to call it, and it's all lovely, sharp detail. All right, it's like once you've painted this here, you've got pieces that come through that you can paint chrome, silver, something like that, and poke them through to give you that bit of detail.
Yeah.
Front part of the screen, fuel tank, tail unit, and the seat unit. And we've got the last one, which is basically engine, right? And the detail that is on there is amazing. The detail you get in there. The radiator, yes, I've seen that on all the Tamiya bikes, nothing to shout home about. But even the detail on the chain and sprocket, yeah, it's not an individual link one, but the detail that's on it, and even the sprocket is drilled out as well.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
But you've got the exhaust system, the can. This will lend itself very nicely to either some of the Mr. Colour Superfines or some AK Extreme Metals. Work a treat on that. Right.
So, is that, just a minute there. That exhaust system, is that all one piece?
is one cylinder.
Oh, right.
One, right.
I've got
the outer one on the left-hand side. So you've got right and left-hand side. Then you've got the two inner pipes.
Right.
So basically you glue them two halves together and then put them in the middle.
Right. Okay. I'm just thinking seam lines.
Yeah. But the thing is about it, how it goes together, right? What you've got to remember is that's the back of the exhaust. Yeah, you're going to have a seam line. Well, you're not, because that's slide molded, look.
Oh, right.
Right? The rear box is slide molded. So by the time you've put that
through there
and slid it down there, you're only going to have a very faint seam line down here.
Yeah.
But what I find with these new Tamiya bike kits, by the time you've glued them together and you've clamped them and held them together, the glue weeps out. Nice fine sanding stick. It's taking it out. But I just can't get over how I thought the Kawasaki, the H2 and the M1, the YZR, YZR 1M, the basically street bike race rep that they bought out. I thought they were good, but it seems that Tamiya have
up their game,
up their game again on this kit. But you get the usual stuff: spring, nylon washers.
So another question I've got. I know that people that have bought this kit, many have gone, as I have, gone for the upgrade set.
Yeah.
Why go? Is there anything else that you would recommend maybe changing? Or,
well,
I know we're going to look at the upgrade set.
We're going to look at that another week. But basically, this replaces the fork legs, which are black, right? And trying to match that paint colour and that finish is going to be a bit awkward. But you actually get all the bits for the top as well. But we'll go into that detail later on. But no doubt Hero Boy or somebody like that will be bringing out aftermarket goodies for it, I'm sure. But
I'm surprised they're not already out, because it's been a while in the making. This, if I remember correctly, it's
yeah. Well, this is it. Sometimes Tamiya and Airfix and the like will actually release a kit in a white box prior to its release to certain manufacturers, or they'll release certain parts that can be updated. Right.
Yeah.
But I think this one's been kept under wraps and it's been released, and then anybody wants to do any aftermarket, then they jump on after the kits come out. But from what I'm aware of up to now, there's photo etched brake discs. They're coming out, and there's an aftermarket exhaust system that's been bought out, that you literally replace the kit one with the aftermarket one, and it's all clipped together with springs like on the race exhausts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
there's
you're able to make a good kit from the box.
To me, all I'm going to do is use what's in the box and that's it. But I've got the paints as well for it as well, so we'll have a look at them next week as well.
So Gordon, don't move the box. Leave the box there.
It's a nice bit of eye candy, isn't it? It's gorgeous.
So my question is, where do the masks go on the bike from in that picture? Is that just the blue part?
What the masks are for this, between the red and the white and the blue. You get one that you put on, because this is split across here. So you put the bottom half of the mask on to do that. So you paint that blue or white or whichever. One mask goes in there, then the other part of the mask comes across the top. So if you wanted to, because this is what you get in the kit, I'll pull them out. You get the choice to paint it like that. That's what they're for, right? Or you can use the kit decals. So basically, what you could do, you just paint the bike red and then put the kit decals on, right? Or you use them and paint that half red and then the top half white, that white band on, and then the top blue.
So it depends how much of a challenge you want.
Yeah, you get the option to
flex your artistic muscle.
Yeah, in a roundabout way. So if you wanted to, you can paint it like that, or you can use the kit decals. But I'm just going to use it. Same as says, build it straight from the box with the Tamiya update parts and stuff. And I've got aftermarket paint for it. I've got colour matched paint for it as well. But it's a lovely looking bike, and it's a lovely riding bike as well because I've ridden one.
Excellent.
Yeah, I might only have one leg, but the SP version, you can have a quick shifter fitted, so you don't actually change gear with your foot.
Yeah.
So,
well, thank you very much for that, Gordon. That was most enjoyable, especially as I've got one on order. I can't remember how much I paid for mine. I've got a feeling, don't quote me on this, but I think I paid about 39. Might have been 37, not sure.
I'm going to say I think I got this on offer, and it was I think it was about £36, 75 pence or something like that, about 38 quid.
Well, you got yours the same place as I got mine from Mike Jolly. So, yeah, what Gordon said. Excellent. Can't wait to start building that. Mine hasn't arrived yet because I've got him keeping stuff for me until it's all arrived. Excellent. So with that, let me just bring the camera back to us. We're now going to have a look at this week's topic. And topics are very difficult to come by, especially as the podcast goes on more and more. You start to look at so many different things. So if anyone's got a subject they're passionate about, or they've got a subject that they feel, why hasn't this been talked about? Somebody needs to talk about this. Then by all means, drop any one of us a comment and let us know, and we will, all comments are read. We will get to it and sort something out in short order. So anyway, this week I thought we would look at critiquing. Now, I know this is a real hot button issue that can, let's say, annoy a lot of people. But there are ways. I see Josh looking up there. He's like, you ain't got a clue, mate. So, there are ways that you can do it. I believe you can be tactful. I can see everybody's looking at me now. This is this newfound way of critiquing without upsetting anyone. I haven't really got it, but
it's a. Some people do not take critiquing very well.
Yeah,
even
but
if
the thing is, not to be rude. You don't have to be rude.
Yeah, well, that's common courtesy, But if someone asks you, "What do you think?" and you tell them what you think, of a certain thing, don't be rude about it. I mean, there's, you can, especially if that person looks up to you. If that person likes your skill and they say, "What do you think about this. Usually what I do is I'll tell them I would have done this or try this. I like what you're doing. You're on the right step, but try this and try this. Let me know how that works out for you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Because I've had lots of I've asked you particularly, Gil, for lots of critiquing over the the past years, and you always give me a thoroughly honest opinion, and you tell me what to do, and as you've just said, come back and let me know how it goes, and that's brilliant.
Yeah. I mean,
I've also received the other end of it though.
I mean, the internet gives people a set of gonads, man, that they normally wouldn't have if you were face to face with them.
Yeah.
Keyboard warriors.
Well, yeah, keyboard ninjas. What I when I ask people that are more skilled than I, what do you think of this? And they'll come back and they'll tell me, you should try this, the variate, do this, do that. And it's well received because I asked for that. I asked for the input, I mean, if you don't ask for input, you're never going to grow.
Yeah.
I know, like in the Styrene Syndicate and also with Red Dragon Modelworks on Facebook, I don't allow unsolicited criticisms. I don't allow it because it can become like you put a bunch of cats in a bag and wow,
Yeah.
Because you do have people that don't have any social skills,
Yeah.
And what they end up doing is they'll flame you. And the last thing I want to do is I want to crush the spirit of the person doing it. It's I mean, and this might sound a little trife, but it's not how. Please take it the way I'm gonna explain it. If I'm showing my grandson how to do something, I'm not gonna be rude about it. This is how you do it. Try this. Hold it this way. Blend it this way. Because I teach my son-in-law, my ex-son-in-law is a painter, fabulous looking artist. Beautiful, excuse my language, very beautiful artist.
Yeah,
I'm a painter. His mother's a painter. My daughter's a painter. I mean, there's the artistic gene flows in my family. So he's picking it up. He loves to mix colors. So you tell him that color don't look good with that. And I explain to him why it doesn't look good. You don't want it to look like mud, this, that, the other thing. You teach them. And the same thing can go with somebody that's learning. Say it's modeling. You try to tell them, hey, look, there's a seam line there. You can do this to clean it up, blah, blah, blah. If you're painting, I can see your brush strokes. Your paint looks a little chalky. But usually that happens in a Facebook Messenger. Very rarely do you see me critique somebody on those pages. And but I warn people, if you publicly ask for opinion,
you'll get it.
Now put your big boy pants on because you're going to get it.
Yeah.
You asked for it. Now take it in the spirit that is being given to you. If I see something rude, I remove it right away. There's a way to do it. Too many people, not a lot, but a lot of people just love this. The other thing that I don't like is when I see, say Josh puts up that figure with the eyes.
Yeah.
I took a class. This is what I'm doing. And then, you got a thread going. And then people start saying, well, I did it this way. And they show a picture. I don't want to see what you did. That to me, that's rude. Say Gordon puts up his plane there. Look at, here, this is what I'm working on. And then in the comment section, you start seeing pictures of other people's stuff. But I didn't ask you what you did. This is what I'm working on. That's another form of a critique that you're not asking for.
Yeah. Now,
So
I'll put my hand up. I didn't know about this. And I always used to do that. When people showed what they'd done, they were asking for advice, I'd put a picture up of what I'd done. But in my defense, I didn't know that it was considered rude. I do now.
But there's a difference, though. You just mentioned the difference. You asked for advice. So the best way to show it, if I'm explaining something here, in the Warhammer community, they asked me how I did this.
Yeah.
So they explained it's hard for me to type it all out because of the steps I do. Because you know what? To be quite honest, man, I just throw stuff on there. I know what I see and hear, and I can replicate it.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't ask. I just said, this is what I'm working on. So people will come back, hey, that's not, how did you do it? Blah, blah, blah. And I explain it. Now, if somebody puts on there, well, this is mine. I didn't ask you that. It's not a critique thread. I just put up, this is what I'm working on. If you ask for it, if you go out and like what you just said, Mark, because you just said something there that's very important. You put something up and you say, this is what I'm working on. What do you think? Where should I go? You're asking for an opinion. Now you're going to get other people that said, I would have done it this way. This is what I did. And they show you what they did. Where I have a problem is when they show you the picture, they don't explain what they did. They're just flaming your thread because they want to show you what they did and how better theirs looks than yours. Well, if you're going to show a picture of what you did that looks a little bit better than what, say, Mark did, explain what you did.
Yeah.
That's where I have a problem. When people just throw photos up and say, look, this is mine. I don't care if that's yours. It's a nice picture. Now tell me what you did.
See, I don't like so let's say I put up, let's say a perfect example, I put up an old, as an example, a vampire. They're built of a lot of wood. And I'm trying to replicate the wood. And I put a message up saying, can anyone help me get this wood-like finish? And then everything's going great. And then somewhere along the line, you'll get that cockpit's the wrong color. Or, that's wrong in the background, or this is wrong and that don't look right. And you've got to do this as well. When, like you say, I've only actually asked how to achieve. Some people don't seem to understand that when you write WIP, it does mean it's not finished.
Well, that's because I've learned throughout the years doing this, Mark. I've been doing the social thing, been doing it for about 7 years. They don't read the original post.
Yeah.
People, because, and this is how you can tell they don't read the post. Because you'll put up a question in that post, WIP, and I usually do it. I put 2 stars, WIP, 2 more stars, and then I put down what I'm doing. When you start reading the comment section, they're repeating themselves. It's like, did you not read the comment before?
Yeah.
They don't take the time to read what you actually wrote. They see the picture, and all they see is their eyes lock on, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
They don't say, I'm trying to do a wood effect. Can you show me this? No, now they're going to go in, oh, your cockpit is wrong. The tail looks crooked. This was bad. The aerial, all that. That's not what I asked. Like you said, that's not what I asked because they don't read the original post.
And what I love is Scale Model Critique Group. Will Patterson, who you had on your show the other week, he has this great thing where once he thinks, that thread has been answered, he puts it down. He writes a message. This is now a trap thread.
That's exactly what ends up happening because nobody reads. I've been into conversations like that where you got 100 people commenting and they're all saying the same thing. It's like, but nobody's answering the original post. I do I use an airbrush to do that. Nobody asked you that. Read the post, And yeah, Will is a little bit more brash about that. I'm a little bit more diplomatic. Will cut right to the quick and say, no. This is a trap thread, guys. Enough. Read the post. Read the original post. But here's the other thing, Mark. When you ask for an opinion on something, give you an example. If I put that up, that Bradley up said, what do you guys think of this? Give me your opinion. Now I'm going to get, the decals are this, this is this is that. Or if I tell them, look, I did the modulation on this. What do you think? of course they're gonna, because their eyes starts wandering.
Yeah,
They're gonna do it because you opened yourself up to that. The minute you ask for an opinion, it doesn't matter. They're gonna give it to you. But
so if well, basically what we're saying, if you want some advice on a website, be specific.
exactly.
Don't be vague. If you're going to ask for advice, nail down what it is you want advice on. No generalities. That's a hard word to say this time of night. And expect, you're going to get, you may even hear some stuff you don't like. You may see people tend to put their stuff out when they think it looks great. What do you think of this? Because they're really pleased with it. I've done it myself.
Well, so have I. I've painted something that I thought was really great, and some people that I respect, they'll look at it and say, "Hey, try this. It's a work in progress," and I take their advice, and I'll change up my whole approach, and they're right most of the time. They're right most of the time. A lot of times, it's what you see. I'm talking about figures. I'm talking about stuff like this here. It's what's in my mind that I'm trying. There's other ways. There's paints you can add to it. There's other things you can do that'll enhance it. And what you have to do is you have to filter all that out. You've got to filter it out and figure, because you're going to get so much advice. 2/3 of it are wrong for what you're doing. So you need to figure out what is the best advice that you're being given and filter out the rest, because critiquing, you're going to get it if you ask for it. So basically, like you were saying, you get the cockpit wrong. Ignore all that. And if nobody's answering the original OP, then you say, okay, never mind, and you move on.
And I've seen this before as well. You'll get advice from some people that have probably never even built that kit. They've probably never, you might be asking for advice on a paint system, and people will give it that have never used that paint.
I'll give you an example, Mark. I painted a small horse, and I was around horses most of my young adult life, and I painted it brown, and it had a black tail and a black mane.
Yeah.
I got into a flame war with somebody that claimed he was an equestrian, and there's no such thing as a brown horse with black hair. And I told him, excuse me? And he starts showing me pictures. I'm like, well, that tail's black. It's dark brown. No, it's black. I've had horses that were brown with black tails. The hell's wrong with you? And we went on and on. I finally told him, look, man, you need to get your glasses checked, because brown horses do have black tails. And it didn't matter. People were showing him pictures. There were This head went on forever. There were pictures and I just sat back and went like this, like, oh, Jesus, I just showed what I was working on. And this guy here, he claimed to be a horse trainer, but he didn't know anything about horses.
Yeah, horse trainer.
Yeah, it's like he's showing me pictures of brown horses and I'm like, well, that tail's black, dude. Well, and he came up, I can't remember what color he said. I said, dude, it's black. The hell's wrong with you? It's black.
Yeah.
Miniature's this big. It's this big. It's a black tail. End of story.
He was definitely talking some sort of horse.
I think he got into the brownies, I think. So anyway, but that's where you're talking about. You show a picture and somebody's got to have a comment on it. And usually I'm pretty polite unless they're rude. I tell them, thank you for your information. I'll take that under consideration.
Yeah.
Usually. I mean, but you're right. If you're a plane builder, like I'll give you an example. Will and most of those guys over there, they do planes and they do them beautifully.
Yeah.
If I post a plane on there, I know what's going to happen. I don't build planes. I don't know anything about them. I know a few things, but I don't know anything about them. So if I get something wrong, they're going to let me know, because I know that's the way it's set up. It's called the Scale Modelers Critique Group. So if I put something up there, I know I'm going to get critiqued on it, and that's fine. You know,
I find with Will's group, and so far I've been okay. If you speak to people in there and treat everyone with respect, and you don't try to tell something that you know nothing about, or give opinions on something you know nothing about, it's generally a good group to be in.
Yeah.
I tend to find the people that don't get on are the people that go in, have a very high opinion of themselves, and give advice on something they don't know anything about, or something that they may think they know a lot about, but there's people in there that know a lot more.
Exactly.
Just to be on, just be honest. Don't try and be above your station. Just be honest, and you'll get on fine in that group.
I get, Mark, during the day, you probably hear my phone going bing, bing, bing over there. I get a lot of questions about, hey, how'd you do this? How would you do this? How would you do this? And generally, I don't do it publicly. I don't answer them publicly. Because then I could go, and there was a lady in the Reaper Miniatures group. She saw the way I was doing the wings. So she asked me, how did you do that? And I told her, Facebook Messenger me and I'll show you. So for about, I literally gave her a class on how I did it, free. This is how you do it. This is how I do it. And her painting her wings went through the roof.
Yeah.
Anytime she had a problem, can I talk to you? Yeah, sure. Happens to me all the time. If I were building a car, I got a lot of car guys in our hangouts.
Yeah.
Josh, you've heard me say this. Hey, dudes, what type of engine is this? What should I do to this? And they'll tell me, because I don't know nothing about them. I know how to fix mine, but that's about it. When you start talking about the motors and the hoses and these are the so brakes and this and this and this and that, that's all Chinese to me. So I ask people that know. Now, you want to talk about airbrushing or something? Now you can talk to me. Yeah, planes, that Tornado, I don't know, a beautiful airplane. I've seen them, love them. But I don't know anything about them. So for me to critique something that Gordon's doing on that plane, I'd be full of shit because I don't know anything about them. I'm looking at the paintwork. I'm not looking at anything else. That's all I'm looking at. It could have came from Mars for all I care. I'm looking at his paintwork. I'm not looking at anything else. So that's the extent of my critique is the paint. Yeah. Other than that, I keep my mouth shut.
Anyone got anything they want to add?
What do you think?
So this is what I want. When you look at the messages you get back, kind of pair up, hey, this is how I would do it. And then the next one, but try this. Don't take it as like, this is the Bible. This is 100% what you're going to do. Just kind of go through and see what you like and don't like. And don't try it maybe on that model. Try it on a different one.
Exactly.
Because there are some people that like to throw that wrench right into your work because,
And you'll drive yourself mad trying to replicate everything they're trying to tell you to do. Take the best advice that you see on there, incorporate it into what you're doing on a later build. Or if you're apt to do it, you strip yours and do it again. But all advice is not good advice. Like Josh saying, it's not good advice. Some of it is just a plain old horse fucking. Take the best advice from the people know what they're talking about and incorporate that. The rest of it is all background noise. It's all background. It's all the blah, blah, blah. It's like those, you remember those old Charlie Brown cartoons? The mother? That's all it is. Focus on the people, like the people know their shit. You focus on what they're telling you. The rest of it is just
Yeah, don't ask multiple people.
All they're doing is parroting what the other guy's telling you,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, because then normally when you got a group of people like that, there's one dominant painter, and most of them follow his lead.
Yeah, but even then,
styles.
But even then, Mark, you have guys that are not dominant painters, but they have good ideas.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'll sit back. Say Josh and I are talking, and we're in a hangout, and Josh will throw something out. Now, it might not seem like I'm listening to him, but I'm putting it away.
Yeah.
And then later on, I'm like, you know, Josh mentioned this. Let me try it, and I'll put my twist on it. And like, boom, it works. You know, so you always listen to stuff. You don't take it to heart, because that's how you're going to grow as a model builder or a painter. You know, you grow from listening to the criticisms. It might hurt your feelings, you know, but you'll grow. You know, just take the good stuff and filter out the rest.
So there we go. That's our little talk on critique.
And the one thing I will add is, if you know it's a new person, be polite.
I always be polite.
If it's me and Gil, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if it's a guy or young kid, be encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't want this hobby to go away by any means. And that's how it happens 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gordon, what do you think?
Hey, same as you said, there's the right way and there's a wrong way, right? And it's same as Josh has just said, right? The average age of a model builder, model maker, or whatever you want to call yourself, whatever, you need some young blood in, and you don't want to put them off.
Mm-hmm.
So just bear that in mind. If somebody puts a piece of work up on a Facebook page or in a group page or whatever, right? Just take into account. It's like that one that Mark did the other week of the young lad doing the Phantom. Right? Joe Stoke could have come in and says, "Oh, I can see brush strokes in it. You've not thinned your paint enough," or whatever. But he's new to the hobby, so you need to give him praise for what he's done. Oh, I like how you've got the decals to go on without any silver in.
Mm-hmm.
That was the whole point behind picking that kit.
Well, in closing, Mark, I mean, I know that you don't want this to go too much longer, but in closing, I remember a guy. He was an older gentleman of our age, and he was painting figures, and oh my God, they were terrible. They were terrible. And he was posting them. And I told him, I said, you know what? Facebook messaged me. Let's talk. And I walked him through what I had learned from people that I had admired. You know, thin your paint. Don't try to put it on too thick at one time. You know, layers. You layer it. You know, and his painting got a lot better. But man, I mean, the eyeballs were looking this way. You know, either way, and you know, I mean, it was terrible. But you know what? He was trying. He was trying. He didn't have the skill. And I told him, you're not going to get this overnight. You know, and I told him, go to Reaper. I sent him over to Reaper, Josh, and buy these cheap, you know, Reaper ones and practice on those. Don't buy an expensive kit and practice on that. Get a cheap one, a little paint mule, and work on a paint mule, something, you know, just something to get your technique down. The guy's a hell of a painter now. You know, that wasn't because I taught him anything. You know, I don't think. I told him, look, it looks like shit. You know, this is what you need to do. You're putting the paint on too thick. Oh, I didn't think that. Slow down, layers, slow down. You know, it's all a patience game, you know. So anyway, that's that. I'll leave it at that. You know, that's and it could have, if he would have posted those pictures somewhere else, they would have ripped him apart. They would have ripped him apart.
Yeah.
And you know, he hasn't posted in a while, but he did get a lot better because I told him, go here. Check out this painter. Check out this painter. Check out this one. This is what they're doing. You know, learn from them. You know, and he did. He did. So that's all I got to say.
Anyway, anyone else got anything they want to add?
Not as I can think of. Not now.
I think we covered it all, huh?
So you just about covered it.
Josh, anything?
No, I think we
I
did.
normally end up cutting Josh off. I normally say that's it for this week, and then he says, hold on.
I got something here. Yep.
No, I'm good.
And Josh, I think we've just about covered it. Just be polite and courteous.
Yeah.
Treat others as if how you would like to be treated, basically.
Yeah. Always remember, you didn't come out of your mama a brilliant artist. You had to learn how to do it. You had to learn how to do it. So
yeah, still learning.
And yeah, you never stop learning.
Yeah, you never stop learning.
Okay, then. Well, thanks everyone for joining us this week. We'll be back next week, and look forward to seeing you all then. Until then, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.